Ladies and gentlemen, let me update you if I can. In October and November of 2019, before anybody knew about the coronavirus, I had it. It was horrible. If you go back and listen to the videos I made during that time, I referenced it many times and talked about how it was the weirdest sickness I've ever had in my entire life. Okay, fast forward, the beginning of last month, I got my first Moderna vaccine shot. And then on the 1st of this month, I got my second Moderna vaccine shot. They said that if you'd had the virus before, that the second dose will be no fun. And it was horrible, but it is much better now. And so the last week has been incredibly stressful, not only with my hackers, not only with dealing with the side effects of the second vaccine, and then having all the people who have been yelling at me for getting vaccinated when I've said it's a personal choice. I'm not pushing the vaccine on you. Everyone's free to make their own choice. I'm not going to judge you, and I've asked that you not judge me. But some people don't want to do that. Anywho, so the last 2 days, after it all, I was not feeling well. I'm feeling better now. So there you go. You're updated. And to me, the great news is Asteroid Fight Club is still super duper and incredible. And you guys have hit my fundraiser goal for May and even went $88 over. So super duper duper duper. Thank you very much to the Texas Angel, Jen, Joe, James, JL, Andrea, Alexis, Lauren, Richard, Barbara, Scott, Glenda, Arnica, Light Soul, Dan, Marlita, Daryl, Brian, and KJ Max, Ture, Darlene, Redacted, D from FBD, Mona, Ann, Jason, Andrea, James, and Margaret. And Astro Fight Club, you guys are super duper duper incredible. I'm so grateful. I appreciate you. I love you. I thank you. And I'm going to do my absolute best this month and through hurricane season. And I just want to say on another just side note, we all have personal lives and we all have families. And this month, my mother is moving from the ranch that she's lived in for like 20 years to a new home. And big moves can be stressful. So this may be a stressful time for her, which would probably mean it may be stressful for me too. So be cool. We're all going through some shit in 2021, and I'm going to do my best. But like I said, the last week I just had was super rough. So it may take me a few days to recalibrate. If you're patient, hang in there, buddy. And thank you for listening to my 3-minute personal update of this video. All right. But yeah, the weather has calmed down after a super stormy few days that I warned everybody about ahead of time and then walked you through it all. And so, we're going to have relatively calm weather for the next 48 hours. And we might even be getting some snow. So that's cute. But in 72 hours, we will be on the lookout again for severe weather, possibly in Oklahoma and Kansas. And shout out and prayers to Mike. And if you got extra prayers, please send him his way. He is dealing with the coronavirus. And he's having a rough time with it. So, and he's a cool dude and he's been great to me. So please, if you can, send good thoughts his way. Also, we are back to solar minimum conditions. In my opinion, solar minimum conditions are always kind of a downer. The sun is blank. Today, the sun looks like an orange billiard ball. It is blank, without sunspots for the 4th day in a row. Young, solar cycle 25, is still struggling to drag the sun out of a century-class solar minimum. So occasional sunspotless days are to be expected. But we should get a new sunspot that might appear before the end of the week. But regardless, the sun still rises this morning. But fret not, and if you get down, don't stay there for too long, because Solar Ham says region 2817 from the previous rotation is set to return into view during the next 24 to 48 hours. Stereo ahead suggests it may be still somewhat active. At least a small increase in solar activity may be possible. So we'll stay tuned on that one. And weird/bad news, Brandy Cahew, the forecast is what we're going to have a hotter than usual summer. And this forecast shows that we don't have enough power to go around. Says ERCOT, Texas's power grid, dude. You know, everybody freaked out when they were like, Joe Biden's going to take away our hamburgers. At least in Texas, our governor was like, Joe Biden's going to take away our hamburgers. And we will not ration our consumption because we are in a capitalist society. But then ERCOT, they're like, hey, you guys are going to have to ration your electricity. So ERCOT details 3 scenarios that could leave Texans without power this summer. And remember, we lost power for like 4 days during the middle of February. And we almost lost power like 2 or 3 weeks ago just because it got cool. And so the whole power grid situation in Texas is so crazy, dude. It's such a crazy world, man. It's such a crazy world. Let's see what else. China's space station is visible from Earth. China's new space station is just getting started, but it's already putting on a good show. I've seen it twice this week, reports Mark A. Brown from Marion, Iowa. The space station's Tianhe module has been making brilliant passes across Middle America. Here it is, rivaling the star Vega on May 4th. And what's weird is when they launched that rocket, a large chunk of it fell back to Earth in an uncontrolled fashion. And so it could possibly hit America or anywhere in the civilized world over the next week. And we're going to have to stay tuned. It's a really weird story. I started to cover it like a week ago, and I'm sure we'll continue to cover it. Jonathan McDowell, this morning's plot of the original perigee and apogee of the Tianhe and the CZ-5B rocket booster versus time. The apogee of the core stage continues to decay as expected. Here's it falling back to Earth. And no, we still don't know where it's going to come down. Uncertainty on when is still sometime Saturday or Sunday. That's a couple days away. So, but I will keep you guys posted, and definitely check out Jonathan McDowell on Twitter. He's one of the top space debris and launch guys out there. And I will keep I'll keep you guys super posted on it, because I won't be going home for Mother's Day, so I'll be here in Houston working nonstop like I usually do. Okay, great. All right. Who wants to talk about black auroras over Scotland? I do. Red, green, purple. These are the colors we usually see during any display of auroras. On April 18th, Alan C. Tuff of Hope in Moray, Scotland, saw something else. Black, he says. In the photo below, note the dark vertical strip above the green band, which is devoid of any normal aurora color. See? Crazy. Yeah, the heavens are filled with mystery constantly. Black auroras have been seen before. They are dark rings or black bobs that sometimes appear in an otherwise ordinary expanse of auroral light. Some researchers call these anti-auroras. The black auroras in Tuff's photo are circled here. Ordinary auroras are caused by electrons raining down from space, hitting Earth's upper atmosphere, and making the air glow. Black auroras are the opposite. Instead of electrons raining down, electrons are propelled upward back into space. Oh, so there you go. You got a diagram explaining it all out for you. All right, back to the weather. Eric Webb, crashing cold fronts plowing through the southern U.S. and Gulf of Mexico in mid-May is always a good sign for storm chasers. He's speaking sarcastically. And yes, there is a weird breed of human beings who wishes for more tornadoes so they can chase them. They're called storm chasers. They've become very popular over the last 5 years. I've seen a tornado once, but it came to find me. It didn't touch me, though. I didn't go looking for it. See how we're getting another cold shot? And a lot of times you'll see that cold shots seem to coordinate with solar minimum type activity. So when sun spotless, we do get more colder weather. Okay, great. So be prepared for it to be a little bit colder than you thought it would be. Yo. Okay, and Republicans like to argue about climate. Democrats like to argue about climate. And I, in the middle, like to say, hey, no matter what you believe, if you look at this chart, it makes me think that we're definitely going to see volcanoes somewhere around here this year, next year, or the next year. Like, that is my absolute, your planetary defense commander, that like politics doesn't seem to freak, like it doesn't apply here because we already have volcanoes erupting in super major levels all across the world, and two in Guatemala and one in Mexico that have just been super freaking out. And so it's a whole volcano chain that goes up through here. And so, yeah, I think talking about volcanoes should definitely be entering the conversation, because I believe we could definitely see it happen between now and 2025, 2026. And I've said that a million times. I'm surprised you're not sick of hearing about it. Man, it's like Americans are so divided on everything. It's like the one thing we're not divided on, really, is hurricanes. Nobody wants to get hit by a hurricane. So that is good news. So the bad news is hurricane season is almost upon us. You got like 25 days till we're there. But remember, hurricanes don't actually follow a calendar. So they could happen at any time. But, I don't sense any type of major activity until, I would guess the earliest, like the last week of May. But we will continue to track and watch all the models. But yeah, Bobby Storm, who's also excellent at it, even when I can't sleep or you can't sleep, there's a computer running somewhere. The tropics, not there yet, but they're always on my mind. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. And so, even though hurricane season is always stressful, you know what? I'm pretty good at walking you guys through it, giving you 10 days advanced warning when I can, and then taking you up to landfall. And so looks like we've made it. So I'll be here for you guys this season. That's great news. And it's been, boom, stormy. Volcano discovery, Bay volcano in Vanuatu. The degassing continues from Summit Vent. Vanuatu Meteorology and Geohazards Department reported that a slight increase of seismic unrest at the volcano continues and increased activity follows. We're talking about a visible steam plume, baby. Would you like to see a cool graphic of the storm that happened a few days ago? Well, do I have good news for you? I am definitely prepared to show it to you, and here it is right now. Yeah, the 3 days, was it the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th, were very, very, very stormy. We had quite a few tornadoes that went through multiple states, though the good news was casualties were low, but the bad news was they weren't zero. In super shocking news, the Twitter cropping is gone. And everybody agrees, no matter with or without erupting West Coast volcanoes, this fire season is going to be bad, and it is already stronger than the last few years, even though it's just barely begun. Dada Boo is another great one to follow during hurricane season, though sometimes he talks in code. And that code is usually lyrics from songs. Anyway, but yeah, he is definitely tracking hurricane season as well. Him and Bobby do a great job. And I look forward to working with them through the internets like this season. Although I miss Cranky Weather Guy. Hopefully he'll come back like Han Solo. Yeah, there is a system that models keep showing that spins up near Mexico. So we'll watch it for Mexico and Costa Rica. And then there's always the 1% chance that you'll get a hurricane that'll come and smack into California. It's happened before, like 100 years ago, right around the time the last volcano erupted there. So look for it as a sign or whatever. And then, of course, we'll be watching for Hawaii as well. Fugbo. Cloudos. Hey, want some weird stuff? Well, for making it 15 minutes in the video, I will reward you. Corey S. Powell, The Strange Story of Anatoly Bugorsky, who was accidentally struck in the head by a particle accelerator beam in 1978. He lost his hearing in one ear, which is bad. He suffered seizures, which is bad, but it seemingly slowed the aging process on one side of his face. What? Okay, yeah, that's weird. Catherine Prosific. This is not a good sign. Already more wildfires in California in 2021 than the same period last year. California has already experienced a significant increase in the number of wildfires and acres burned compared to this time last year. Now more than ever, it's critical all Californians are prepared for wildfires. Learn more. And hey, if you don't mind, I'm going to take a minute to talk about myself. And just everything. Everything is so weird and people are so angry. Because that's the thing is, like I said, I made a choice. I got vaccinated. And that it was horrible. And you don't hear me complain about physical pain a lot. You don't hear me talk about I'm sick a lot. And so if I'm like, oh my God, I do not feel good for 5 days, I feel really, really, really bad. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, even the people, whoever, are like, that doesn't matter, or we don't believe you. Like, I don't know. Or the people who are like, you deserve it, because you got it. And it's like, well, I knew, anyway, I don't know. It's just, and so people can try to kick me when they're down, but it's like, I've healed from it mostly. So I'm still, out of like, I've healed 90%, and hopefully I'll be better. And I don't think they're mind controlling me now or whatever. I don't know. It's just so weird. And I'm just trying to be cool and funny and nice and put out good information. And even though it makes me crazy, I still want us all to unite, man. Because, like I said before, anyone under $1 billion is pretty much in the same lump. And so they got everybody under $1 billion fighting. And now, during the pandemic, you have 8 centibillionaires. And Sergey Brin and Larry Page are from Google. And Google spends a lot of time dividing people. And Facebook spends a lot of time dividing people. And I don't know, Elon Musk put out that tweet a year ago that said, hey, we would have 0 cases in April of the coronavirus, meaning that it would just go away. And so technically, I don't know. So like 4 of these dudes pretty much made tons of money off of misinformation or the whole weird divide and conquer thing. So it's just all strange. And then there's Bill Gates, who everybody loves to blame for everything. But I don't know, man. And then I think there are a lot of billionaires and trillionaires out there whose names never even make the list. Anywho, I'm just saying that if you ain't a billionaire, like, focusing and blaming other people is probably not the best scenario right now, because we're kicking each other's ass and we're tearing each other down, while these guys are just getting more powerful every day. Like, they kind of, NASA's like now doesn't do much, and so now Elon Musk has his own super space agency and cryptocurrency, and then Jeff Bezos now has his own space agency and got one of the biggest companies in the world. And you got to know that Elon Bezos, probably Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Page, and Sergey Brin went in huge on cryptocurrency, way ahead of everybody else. I actually thought about buying some Dogecoin at 5 cents, but I didn't have any money. Anyway, but I don't usually give out what I think is solid financial advice, but I will try this time. And although I'm not saying, like, I don't know, take it with a grain of salt, but I would sell your Dogecoin 5 minutes before Saturday Night Live starts, where Elon will host this Saturday. Anywho, Elon landed another rocket today, which is impressive. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin will be flying passengers to the edge of space in July, which is really impressive. And the idea that, you can, for like 10 Bitcoin, you can go up into space and go see from the upper atmosphere. So on one level, that's really cool, I guess. The Air Force's Skyborg AI system flies for the first time in Mako drone, Oriano Polik. And what's weird is, remember when I think Carl Sagan, and then what is the name of the Stephen Hawking, and then Elon Musk gave out all these super warnings about how we should totally fear artificial intelligence, but at the same time, Elon just pumped a bunch of money into AI, and so did Google, and so did Facebook, and now our military is. So Just cross our fingers with AI, buddy. Okay, great. But I still think right now the two biggest stories of 2021 will be cryptocurrency versus the dollar and China's relations with America. They're not going good. I know. So, but it's just so weird to me that like Tyler Winklevoss of the Winklevoss twins, who helped Asteroid start Mike Zuckerberg start Facebook, and I don't even buy that movie they made. Anytime they make a movie telling you something, I feel like they're selling you something. So the whole slick, which great movie by the way, I just think it was fictional, and so that, like I said, I think the Winklevoss twins, Elon, Zuckerberg, they all had plans for Dogecoin and Bitcoin back in 2002. Like, pretty sure they're all Satoshi Nakamoto. And so, like, I did research the other day, and 6 dudes own 15% of all the Bitcoins out there. The Winklevoss twins own 1.2 million Bitcoins. And so here he is saying, say what you want about Dogecoin, but its money supply is harder, more transparent, and more predictable than the US dollar. That's the real joke. So here, a Harvard graduate, I'm pretty sure born in America, lived in America, like grew up in America, educated in America, now is like, I hate the fucking dollar. And so that has been part of the like controlled opposition. They get people to like hate the dollar just so they can sell you Dogecoin, but the dollar built your highways, the dollar built your cities, the dollar built your power plants. Like, the dollar has kept us the free nation in the world, you know, that like the US dollar. So I was like, okay, CC the US Army, the US Navy, the US Marine Corps, the US Coast Guard, the US National Guard, the US Air Force, US Space Com, and the US Treasury. So I don't know, dude, these are just weird times, man. And it's like, guy, boobs. Blue Origin puts its first passenger on a seat. New Shepard suborbital spaceship up for charity auction. Crazy days indeed, where it's like everybody's giving everybody the finger all the time. And lumber and copper and commodities are going through the roof. And so like 2 of the main missions at Thor News has been to prevent World War III and to prepare for hyperinflation, because it's happened 33 times throughout history. It happens when you print too much money, and no matter what you say, like adding cryptocurrency into all the other currencies, all that does is create more money. And so you get to a point where everybody prints too much money and the money system breaks. And so these are definitely crazy days, but I definitely think we're still heading towards a solar maximum. And so things will improve, hopefully. And you know, I'm hanging in there. I want you to hang in there too. And the fact that like you guys have been so good to me, it always gives me such faith and optimism. Every time I'm faced with, it looks like I'm sheer doom, a miracle always shows up, because God is great and great to me, and you guys are super fantastic. So please let me leave you with my overall predictions for the next few months. As I've said, Jupiter is leaving Aquarius and moving into Pisces, which will leave Saturn all alone in Aquarius, and Pluto's still in Capricorn. And so I think when Jupiter goes into Pisces, and then leaves Aquarius alone, or Saturn alone in Aquarius, that I think cryptocurrency is going to get kicked in the nuts. I don't know if governments are going to pass new regulation, so I think that in that 2.5 month period before Jupiter retrogrades back into Aquarius, that you're going to see cryptocurrencies crash or see anywhere from like a 30 to 75% correction. But Jupiter will retrograde back into cryptocurrencies somewhere at the end of June or July. So if you were going to get in, or if you get out before that time, then that will be the time to get back in. Like, I mean, at this point, it's almost like, unless things change, yeah, I mean, having some type of investment in crypto, as I've said, it's here to stay. So like, I'm now thinking about, I mean, if I could ever afford it, buying some, even though it's all weird, dude. I don't know. I just, money. It's, anywho. But the other thing is, I think with Jupiter going into Pisces, with Neptune already there, there's a lot of water. So Jupiter is going to be amplifying water. So it's going to be probably really floody. We're going to see some amazing floods, record breaking, and we might see some really, really nasty hurricanes. So we'll have to pray to God, prayer team, atmospheric defense, use all the help we can get. And you combine with the volcanoes, just get ready for a wild, wild hurricane season. All right. So yeah, technically, I don't know. I'm supposed to be having fun this month because this hurricane season's like a crazy 6-month run. So yeah, let's try and have some fun. All right. But hey, thank you very, very, very much to everybody in Asteroid Fight Club. You guys are so incredible. I love you. I thank you. May God bless you. And may everybody have a great weekend. What day is it even? I don't know, man. I want to say again, that week, all the sickness and the side effects, they weren't fun. Like, man, it felt like I had a baby inside my stomach, and I wasn't supposed to have like, men are not supposed to have a baby inside their stomach. It hurt too. There was like 11 hours of like, oh my God, this hurts bad. But I feel a whole lot better. And if it offers me protection, like India's getting ravaged. They have over 400,000 cases. Their medical system is nowhere near as good as ours. They're getting totally ravaged, man. And so I've said again, even though I'm tired of talking about it and everybody fights over it, I think the winter in the United States of America is going to be bad. But summer and spring should be a lot better. But the winter is going to be a big problem. Just like I warned last year all year. But I'm just not going to. So take it or leave it. I love everybody. You guys are super duper cool. And I'm going to do the best I can. But you guys are fantastic. Okay, great. Hopefully I'll feel better. And when I feel better, I'll get funnier and more inspiring and put out more edited videos. Okay, here we go. But yeah, have a great week. You're super.